Coach Odom has a saying: those who win in November will be remembered. The 6-2 Rebels are coming off their second bye week of the season, refreshed and ready to win 4 games in 30 days. It's go time for the Rebels, ready to bounce back in the win column. This week, flying out to Hawaii for the 9th Island Showdown. UNLV lost to then 17th ranked Boise State 29-24 in front of a record home crowd at Allegiant Stadium. Tonight, we're sitting down with UNLV's offensive line coach Vance Vice, who's leading the Rebels to another historic season, and his guys are ready to go.
Each and every day, I feel like this team gets closer and closer and closer. And then, now you're in the middle of the season, and you got to rely on those relationships, because, it's not easy every day. But there's nothing that these guys, in my opinion, when they set their mind to it, it's going to happen. And that's what, as a coach, that's all you ever want from your guys. And they have not blinked an eye.
And we're less than 24 hours away from the start of the Runnin' Rebels and Lady Rebels 2024 season. Both the men's and women's teams tip off tomorrow night on campus. The Lady Rebels are getting ready to host LMU at 6:30, and the Runnin' Rebels follow the Lady Rebels at 8:30 for a doubleheader tomorrow night against Alabama State. Kevin Kruger says his team is ready to build off their NIT postseason run, and Lindy LaRock is ready to dominate again this year and win another Mountain West title.
A really good experience for us, and we can point to certain things now, right? With the guys that are coming back, like, this is why we weren't in the NCAA tournament. You played with teams that won games in the NCAA tournament and beat some of them, but at the same time, this is why we were left out, and that's a lot easier to do than just to tell a whole new group of guys, we didn't rebound it well enough. We didn't do this well enough. It doesn't resonate the same way.
Really, like, the chip on our shoulder is to get to that NCAA tournament and to win the game, and then, see how far we can roll with it. So my goal for this non-conference season was to challenge us more than we ever have, and to play teams better than what hopefully we're going to face in that first round in the tournament.
And to say it's a big week at UNLV is an understatement. It's a rivalry week here in Las Vegas. Coach Odom is determined to defend the Golden Pineapple and win his second straight Island Showdown in Honolulu on Saturday for a 6 p.m. kickoff. The job's not done for UNLV. This team is determined to finish the month of November with 4 wins and accomplish their goal of winning the Mountain West Championship. Welcome into the RebZone. Barry Odom's historic era continues here in Las Vegas. Coach, it was a bye week, but it flew by. A lot accomplished in the past 7 days. Tell me how hungry your team is to get back out on the field.
Well, I think, number one, the bye week for us happened right at the right time. We needed it from a physical standpoint. Our team did. We understand how important the month of November is for us to play our best ball. Every goal that we want to achieve is still out there. And the great thing is we control what's going to happen. So we've got to take it a week at a time and continue to prepare. Our guys are really anxious. We're excited about the next opportunity to go on the road and play, and they understand what's out there. Mm-hmm. So it's fun. I've said it all year. They've been a fun group to coach. They're very motivated, anxious to get back started and on the field in action. And it'll be a fun November.
Like we mentioned, how big this month, and let's take a look at the next 4 games for UNLV. Like we mentioned, it starts on the road at Hawaii on Saturday for a 6 p.m. kickoff, followed by San Diego State, San Jose State, and UNR, wrapping up the regular season with the Cannon game. Of course, the Mountain West Championship game follows the next week on Friday, December 6th for a 6 p.m. kickoff. And Coach, the month of November, really your focus going 1-0, but your team still wants to make history this season.
Yeah, we look at, at the beginning of the year, we talk about making progress every single week, and then you look at, okay, what are goals that we want to set for our program to establish? You got to break down walls and those barriers, what they are. Ultimately, we want to win a championship. It starts with the conference championship, and that's still there for us. We're going to need some help, but it doesn't matter. We've got to go do our part. And then you look at the opportunity to win 10 regular season games. Those things, really, the consistency of a program, win 9 the first year. If you can win 10 regular season games the second year, now we're up and running.
All right, it's go time for UNLV. And like I mentioned, a busy bye week for the Rebels, continuing to make headlines and history in Las Vegas. Jalen Catalon, Ricky White, Jackson Woodard, and Caden Chittenden all earned at least one midseason All-America honor. UNLV safety Jalen Catalon was also named a semifinalist for the Jim Thorpe Award. Jackson Woodard is a semifinalist for the Witten Collegiate Man of the Year Award and is the program's first ever finalist for the National Football Foundation Campbell Award. The Rebel rookie kicker, the Las Vegas native Caden Chittenden, was selected by 24/7 Sports on its true freshman All-American team after leading the nation in made field goals this season. And can't forget All-American wide receiver Ricky White has been a stud on offense and special teams this season, setting a school record with 3 blocked punts and recovering another one for a touchdown. Coach, when I look at these 4 men on the screen, wow, leaders in your locker room. And talking to Coach Vice, he tells me that leaders are being developed every day in your program.
Yeah, you look at those mid-season accomplishments and they're great. It's a great example of what our team looks like. There's representation, offense, defense, and kicking and special teams in those areas, and that's why we've played good football. And we understand how important that is for us over the next month, but also about the leadership. Those 4 guys in their own way are great leaders, but then we've got a group full. I held 30 guys back the other day after practice. Majority of those were seniors, some underclassmen, and said, here it is. We've talked about this now since we arrived together. We've got 30 days basically to go make this happen. And I need the leadership of the team to take the next step, and I know they will.
Let's talk about the step your team made during this bye week. You mentioned 4 practices, a few walkthroughs. Tell me what your guys accomplished this week.
Well, I think, number one, we got a great start on Hawaii, which we need. We understand the improvements that we're trying to make in all 3 phases, so we were able to work on us a little bit more extended time. And I think if you can do that through a bye week, and then you've already got, we had 2 walkthroughs and then 2 more practices against Hawaii about the game plan and the preparation on what that looks like, but then the self-evaluation and the self-scout, offensively, defensively, and kicking. Okay, really, what are we good at? What are we doing well? What do we need to improve on? And then what are the steps we need to take here throughout practice to achieve what we're trying to get done over the last month of the season?
Offensively, Coach, what has your team improved on? I mean, the quarterback, the run game, there's so many weapons on the offense side of the ball. What improvement are you seeing offensively with your team?
I think in the last 2 weeks we've been better on third downs, which is a key area that we've got to be better on, and we understand that. Early in the year we weren't as efficient as we needed to be. We're starting to find our way in that. We've incorporated a little more quarterback run game, which has been good for us. And then now the vertical passing game is becoming a major threat for us, and I think will continue to be that way. It'll start up front with us being able to run the ball effectively in the ways that we're doing that. And again, with some of the things Coach Vice was talking about, the ownership that group has on the offensive line to make sure that happens. We understand how important that is for our success.
Defensively, Coach, the honors keep rolling in for these guys. I wanted to show Coach Shearer in this video because is he one of the best defensive coordinators in the country? His teaching, his energy, what have you seen from that side of the ball?
Yeah, we've gotten better as the season has gone on. He's a great teacher. He understands schematically what we have and puts the pieces and the players in the right spots to allow them to go play free and play fast. He understands how important that is, not only at the linebacker position, but all 11 spots. And I think he's got a really good feel on what we can do right now defensively, and then catering and building the defense for the week to be able to make sure those guys can go play fast.
Antonio Doyle, Jackson Woodard, Jalen Catalon, so many explosive playmakers on that side of the ball. But Coach, special teams, a huge emphasis in your program. Obviously, you have the best freshman kicker in the nation right now in your ball club. Talk about how important these guys have been.
Yeah, you look at, for us, statistically, you look at the average starting position for our offense every time they get the ball. And then you look at average starting position where we start when the defense goes on the field. It's all 3 phases playing together. And Coach Shivas has done such a great job on really giving us an advantage schematically. We've done a great job in our punt return team with the punt block. And then also we give our returner a chance. Their goal is to make sure we get our offense another first down before they have to step on the field. So we know how important it is, the success that we've had because of the work that we put in, and that'll be huge for us down the stretch here.
UNLV rolling in all three phases of the game, and it's wheels up to Hawaii on Thursday morning for UNLV. The Rebels are flying in early to get set for Saturday's 6 p.m. Island Showdown against the Rainbow Warriors in Honolulu. UH heads into this rivalry matchup with momentum, winning 2 straight against UNR and Fresno State. We'll hear more from Coach Odom on going 1-0 this week and defending the Golden Pineapple. It's rivalry week here in Las Vegas. The Rebels will be battling to keep the Golden Pineapple where it belongs, here on the 9th Island. The Island Showdown Trophy debuted in 2017 and is awarded to the winner of the Hawaii and UNLV football game. The Rebels and Rainbow Warriors first squared off on October 25th, 1969, and have continued this rivalry since then.
You know, we understand the 2 trophies that we play for, it's our responsibility to keep them home. And we put them in the front of our lobby when you walk in. The first thing that somebody says or sees, and then that's important to our program. And we understand the responsibility not only for this year's team, but everybody that played before us and was here before us, and then after, it's our job to keep it.
And I know this is the 9th Island Showdown. That rivalry is always chippy, but let's talk about the momentum that the Rainbow Warriors are rolling with right now. They've won 2 straight against UNR, won a thriller last night on the road in Fresno State, down 14-20 with 20 seconds left. Came out on top 21-20. Timmy Ching has his guys rolling on both sides of the ball. Coach, what have you seen from Hawaii this season?
Yeah, I do think as you do your season studies and how they have progressed, they're playing their best ball right now. Their quarterback is impactful in the run game, and is, you know, their offense is able to put up points. I think what stands out the most to me right now is how well and attacking they're playing on defense. They're playing really solid football. We'll have to go play a really clean, smart football game, which I think against a team that's playing some of the best ball in our conference right now.
And what have you learned about Hawaii playing at home? You know, what travel preparations are you guys making this week?
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time, or I did in the off season, because I'd never taken a team to Hawaii to see what that looks like. So looked at who has had success there, what kind of their schedule was, you know, and then ask them the reasons why, and we've implemented that for us. We'll practice Thursday morning, and then we want to get to the island around 4 or 4:30, and then we'll kind of get locked in to a practice walk through that evening, and then our normal Friday on what that'll look like. We understand how important it is and what we need to do to be able to play well on the road, and our guys understand that. But luckily, we've got a mature team, and we understand. I want them to enjoy the trip, to be able to play together, play well, and play our best ball. We understand there's a process on how to do that.
Yeah, all right. The Rebels flying out early Thursday morning, looking to dominate on the road and improve to 5-0 on the road. The Rebels are ready to roll after their second bye week. Coach Vance Vice's O-line is leading UNLV football to another historic season. We'll tell you more about the national recognition UNLV's veteran offensive line is receiving this season, and how Coach Vice likes to dominate on the road. The RebZone continues after the break.
Man, Coach Vice just an energetic dude. Like, he not gonna let you come in there and mope around, have no, he gonna fix all that quick. He always got energy. He gonna coach you, he gonna love you. And he's just a real genuine guy. Like, I love Coach Vice.
He every day has the same energy. You know, just brings the juice every day. You know, no matter, you know, if he's feeling down, anybody's feeling down. It's, you know, we have a job to do, and he's a leader for that.
Coach Vice is leading a veteran offensive line to reach new heights this season. His room is one of the best in the country, being named to the 2024 midseason honor roll of the Joe Moore Award.
You know, I really see a team that, you know, through their hard work, and it didn't just start this season. It started, honestly, since we've been here. And, you know, they've kind of taken the baton and are running with it. And just the closeness, each and every day, I feel like this team gets closer and closer and closer. You know, and then, you know, now you're in the middle of the season, and you got to rely on those relationships, because, you know, it's not easy every day. And but there's nothing that these guys, in my opinion, you know, when they set their mind to it, it's going to happen.
The Rebels set a program record with 695 total offensive yards in their Week 2 72-14 win over Utah Tech.
The depth it's created because, I've been in a lot of programs where, if we're going through a 10-play segment in practice, the ones would get 7, the 2s would get 3. We do everything equal because you're a sprained ankle away from being the guy. And our guys have bought into that. You can't relax on the practice field. You can't relax in the meeting room. And just more and more people know what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it. You get opportunity. And that's the great thing with Brennan is, if you got juice, you're going to go play, but you got to know what to do. You got to know where to line up. You got to do all that. And then, and I try to teach those guys up front. I think Boyd's played 3 different positions this year. And, I've got 4 or 5 of them can play all 5. And just that creates depth. Even if I don't have the numbers depth, sometimes I can be 3 deep with 7 guys.
The Rebels aren't done making history this year. In fact, they're improving and getting stronger every day thanks to Coach Fish.
What he does, I think, probably better than anywhere I've ever been or ever seen, he keeps my guys on the field. Our injuries, are, and it's because they work, and we talked about it earlier. They get here at 4 o'clock in the morning for a reason. They're working on recovery and the stretching that they do and the lifting that they do. Every time our guys lift during the season, and a lot of times during the season, you just try to maintain because you're taking a beating every day, and it's hard to have, gains in the weight room. Not with Coach Fish. Our guys PR every time they lift. Every single time they lift, they PR, and it's kind of just sit back and watch it because, he does stuff I've never even thought about doing with the different stretches and, the different, footwork stuff we do. And then all of the recovery work with, I never had a rubber band. They do more stuff with a rubber band I thought was possible. But the biggest thing, your greatest ability is your availability. And, you're 8 games into a season, there's nothing on your body that feels good right now. There's nothing, but they know Tubbs, Coach Fish, Cam in the training room, and there's an army of people that are helping them, and they understand it's working.
Great to get an inside look at the Fertitta football complex. See, Coach Vice really respect what Coach Fish does. Coach, the health of your team and everything he just mentioned, how important is that in your locker room?
Well, you look at the process of how things foundationally, how you want them set. And then we feel like we've got a great plan. We're going to give them the roadmap on what it's supposed to look like, on what a championship program looks like, and function at every single day, but it takes so many people to get it done, and then it takes the buy-in of the student athletes. And I think it helps. Man, just listening to Coach Vice talk, I'm so fortunate. We've got a great group of assistant coaches that they do it every single day, and I'm honored to have a chance to work with them. And then you look at the development of that group specifically on what the offensive line has done. We know that a lot of our success is because of that group.
Yeah, really inspirational to see the Rebels in there at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. working so hard. Every room is working their tail off to win a championship this season. Well, the basketball season is back at UNLV. Lindy LaRock and her spooky coaching staff went all out for Halloween this week. The women's basketball team is projected to win another Mountain West title this season, making that 4 in a row for the Lady Rebels. We'll check in with both the men's and women's basketball teams ahead of their season opener tomorrow night on campus. With a blink of an eye, it's here. The UNLV basketball season is back tomorrow night. The Lady Rebels will take the court at 6:30 at the Cox Pavilion, getting set for their tip-off against their non-conference schedule, a tough non-conference schedule against LMU. And the Runnin' Rebels will debut a new team at 8:30 at the Thomas & Mack when they host Alabama State. The Lady Rebels have won 3 straight Mountain West championships under Las Vegas native Lindy LaRock and have been picked #1 this year in the preseason poll. Coach LaRock has scheduled another tough non-conference slate for her team, traveling to Arizona and hosting Oklahoma at the Thomas & Mack. Coach LaRock told me this offseason the goal is to win in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I'm happy with where our group is at. We're continuing to improve every day. We still have a lot of work to do, but that's part of the journey and the process. And, we've got games right around the corner, so, that helps.
I definitely, over the summer was working on my shooting and being a consistent shooter, so I think that's what I want to be consistent throughout the whole season.
And the Runnin' Rebels have been bitten by the injury bug as their 2024 season tips off tomorrow night. Earlier this week, Coach Kruger told the media they could be down 3 players tomorrow night against Alabama State, including their starting point guard DJ Thomas, who's dealing with an ankle injury. The Rebels are set to feature 6 returners from last year's team and 10 newcomers this season. We checked in with Coach Kruger on what adjustments will be made tomorrow if they're down their starting point guard. We're less than 24 hours from the UNLV 2024 season tipping off tomorrow night. It's a huge week on campus at UNLV, Coach. We got hoops, we got the 9th Island Showdown. You told me in the commercial break you are doing anything and everything it takes to bring home this win.
Well, I think it's so important to where we are in the season for us to do as a coaching staff, prepare them to go win. And the focus, we know what's out there. Now let's get it down to what we can control right now, the here and the now, and live in the moment and go play our best ball.
I know there are several alumni events on the road in Hawaii. Can't wait to see Rebel Nation out there. UNLV looking to stay undefeated and improve to 5-0 with a trip to Hawaii and keep that golden pineapple right here on the 9th Island where it begins. We'll see you next Sunday on the RebZone.